Welcome back. Today I have a quick request before we start. A lot of you have been liking these videos before you even watch them, and I'm getting so many likes, and I just don't know how sincere they are. So if you'd wait until the whole video's over before you like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. We all know that life is not fair, and one area where this is displayed is when it comes to genetics. What we inherit from our parents when it comes to our bodies and our health can be very different from one person to the next. It's like growing up with rich parents. There are definitely some advantages if you have good genetics. So let's talk a little bit about this topic today. Back when I was in college, I remember playing basketball all the time, pickup ball, and there was a regular who would show up. His name was Pete. He was about 5'9", super athletic, just amazing what he could do. He was dunking on people all the time in games, muscular, just ripped. I mean, everyone was just kind of jealous of his physique and his physical ability. And I remember one day hearing him brag about how he never lifts weights and doesn't work out, he just plays basketball for fun. And we were all just kind of sick when we heard that, because everyone else is trying so hard to get better and do better, and this guy just seemingly doing it without effort. It just came so easy, so natural for him. I'm sure you all have a Pete in your life, someone you know who can eat whatever they want and they don't gain any weight, or someone that ages super gracefully. You can hardly tell they're getting older. But there's lots of examples of people that have kind of an unfair advantage when it comes to genetics. So there are so many things that genetics can influence: your height, weight, your hair color, your eye color, your complexion, bust size, baldness, body shape, predisposition to diseases. So there's lots of these things that can impact us when it comes to genetics. I remember when I was younger, my dad came home once from the dermatologist, and he says, "Hey, I just had an appointment, and apparently I inherited something from my dad, these growths that he was getting on his chest." And he said, "Just so you know, when you get over 40, you're probably going to get those from me." I was like, "All right, thanks, Dad." It was true. Sometimes when it comes to families, you'll see differences between the siblings of what they inherited from their parents, how that was different. I've got 10 kids, and all of them have been like skinny, ectomorph body types, except one was more of a mesomorph. You'd pick him up as a little kid and you'd have to put on a back brace. You didn't realize he was so much heavier than the others. And he, as he's grown up, has just been able to put on muscle a lot quicker, more naturally, easier, just a thicker build than some of these others. And I know what you're thinking.
You are not!
So certain body types are more well-suited or advantageous in different types of sports or activities. In basketball, you look across the NBA, everyone's significantly taller than the average person, because that's a big benefit to have that height there. Whereas you're not going to see gymnasts or horse jockeys at the Kentucky Derby, anyone over 6'4", anywhere near that. So certain activities, especially sports at the elite level, they require a certain type of genetics to do it. You know, you're not going to be a front lineman in the NFL unless you're, 250, 300 pounds plus and have the bulk and strength to move someone like that. Whereas, the wide receivers, you're going to see them, they're a lot faster, more athletic. They've got a different build than some of these other players. So if you feel that you've lost out on the genetic lottery, or you've been dealt a bad hand of cards when it comes to what you've inherited physically, there's still some good news. First of all, when it comes to fitness and sports and athletics, you can compensate for bad genetics by working harder, by having better attitude, better mentality, better work ethic. All those sort of things can compensate for that. Genetics is huge, and most people on the elite levels, they got to have good genetics to be there. But take an example in the NBA, Larry Bird. Most everyone he matched up with on the court, athletically, I'm sure they could run faster, jump higher, do things better. But when it came to his just cutthroat mentality and his competitive nature, that made him a great player. So with the right attitude and work ethic, you can compensate for that. And in a lot of cases, I would take someone that's not as physically gifted and doesn't have that that genetic potential of some athletes that just don't care and don't have the discipline. I would much rather have someone that's going to give 100% or more into it and more dedicated than someone that's just wasting that ability. Okay, now the second item of good news is when it comes to your health and your fitness, even if you've got bad genetics, you feel, and it's hard for you, you can still improve your health and make a better, healthier version of yourself. Whatever you do, don't cop out and make excuses about how your genetics are bad or you've got a slow metabolism or whatever, and just give up. Because when you do that, you surrender to fate and you become a victim.
I thought you were trying to lose weight.
Lay off me, I'm starving!
So don't use bad genetics as an excuse to give up on yourself and not take care of yourself. You can still make all kinds of great improvement, have so much healthier version of yourself if you put in the effort, focus on the lifestyle changes and do those sort of things. One other thing I want to point out, sometimes we're a little bit bummed about what we inherited or what we have to work with when it comes to our health or our body. But I think we should also be grateful. Look at your parents and all the good things you got from them. There's a lot of good stuff that you inherited from prior ancestors, so we should be grateful for that. So genetics are not fair. Sometimes we're not happy with what we've been dealt, but we can still do a lot with it. We can still live a healthier life, make changes we need to, and you won't regret it. Stay tuned for more videos. I promise they will amuse, delight, and entertain you.
Are you not entertained?